Tonight on CTV News, pledging more support for extortion victims.
We are arresting, we are dismantling, disrupting these criminal organizations.
Government promises as violence surges, and questions about an arrest in India of a suspect linked to the Caps Cafe shootings.
It happens every day down here. Every day, 2, 3, 4 times a day.
Drug crisis on Vancouver Island, a dangerous spike in overdoses, what health officials are finding in the toxic drugs. And a jury is now deliberating the fate of Kane Carter, the second time he's been on trial, accused of murdering an innocent 15-year-old killed by a stray bullet.
This is CTV News with me, Jung Lee.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Police and politicians are facing growing pressure to do something about the surge of extortion violence that has terrified the South Asian community. While the feds in the province announced more funding today, they couldn't provide many details about why a suspect was arrested far from the epicenter of the crime spree. CTV's Yasmin Gandam reports.
Delhi police have arrested Bandhu Man Singh.
Indian media report a 28-year-old man in connection with the Lawrence Bishnoi gang has been arrested for his alleged involvement in the shootings of Bollywood comedian Kapil Sharma's Caps Cafe. Today, the federal public safety minister confirmed an arrest in India.
I'm aware that there was an arrest made of an individual allegedly involved with an act in British Columbia.
This as all three levels of government were in the same room discussing how to combat the issue.
We are united and working together to ensure that everybody who has been affected by these extortion threats gets the response that they deserve.
And I made the comment some time ago that Surrey has felt like an island for a very long time. We are not an island today, and I felt that today.
The federal and provincial governments are shelling out $1 million combined for police to support extortion victims in BC.
And we have a lot of victims, and they do require a lot of resources. So that $500,000 from the province and $500,000 from the feds, that's the drop in the bucket.
EB says he's aware of the huge level of anxiety in the community, but insists progress is being made.
It takes a little bit longer, but the results will last longer. And I am convinced that the police are doing the work to really focus on that next level.
We can't just be throwing money at the problem. In addition to the money, we need a real plan.
The extortions, mostly aimed at business people in the South Asian community, have some sending their children out of the country and have led to dozens of reported shootings, some linked to the Bishnoi gang based in India. Swift Radio, where Sims is a host, was shot at in September.
Look twice before I park my car. I look twice as I drive home. I look in the rear view window to see in case anybody is following us.
The federal government has also committed an additional $4 million for the extortion task force to chase down people involved in criminal drug activity.
We will find you, we will arrest you, and we will put you before the courts where you'll be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
Yasmin Gandam, CTV News, Surrey.
Ottawa and Alberta sent a signal to the world. They welcome a potential oil pipeline to BC. We're tracking more reaction to the contentious Memorandum of Understanding. Tonight, experts say the symbolic gesture will likely remain just that. The CTV's Isabella Zaffarisi reports now the Premier is getting ready to meet the federal energy minister.
This week, the Prime Minister flew to Calgary to announce an agreement between Ottawa and Alberta over the future of a pipeline here in BC.
This is setting the country up for a bruising political fight that will play out in a number of different venues. I can't think of another example of the federal government striking a deal with one province about what ought to happen in a second province.
On Thursday, the feds entered into a memorandum of understanding with Alberta over the construction of an Indigenous co-owned bitumen pipeline.
We will never allow oil tankers in our coastal waters. because an oil spill could destroy our way of life.
For months, Premier David Eby has voiced his opposition.
I'm worried that it will continue to be an energy vampire that sucks federal time and money, that sucks Indigenous government time and energy, and our government's time and energy at the expense of very real major projects.
No one from the private sector has stepped up to build a pipeline. Some believe if a proponent is found, there will be even more pushback.
I think the chances are very high that there'll be, a large-scale mobilization of environmental groups and other civil society groups and Indigenous groups against the pipeline, and at the very least, there'll be court challenges.
I think this is highly unlikely to ever go ahead.
One SFU professor says demand for oil globally is declining.
In China, for example, oil demand has already peaked and will decline because of the rapid adoption of zero-emission vehicles, and that's the target market for this pipeline. So the demand's not there.
The premier is set to meet with Federal Energy and Natural Resources Minister Tim Hodgson Friday evening to further discuss the energy project. Isabella Zavarisi, CTV News, Vancouver.
At least 7 people have been taken to hospital after a bus crash near a copper mine in BC's Caribou region. The bus was carrying employees to the Gibraltar mine north of Williams Lake when it crashed early this morning. BC Emergency Health Services has told CTV News that all are in stable condition. It comes just 1 week after a contract worker was killed at the same mine. The circumstances of that death have not been made public. Jury deliberations are still underway in the retrial of the man charged in a shooting that left an innocent 15-year-old boy dead. Kane Carter is accused of killing Alfred Wong, a bystander caught in the crossfire of an alleged gang shooting in Vancouver's Mount Pleasant neighborhood in January 2018. 23-year-old Kevin Whiteside, who police say was the intended target, was also killed. Carter stood trial on 2 second-degree murder charges last year, but the case ended in a mistrial. The lawyer for Ian Hunt, a Port Moody man charged with indignity to human remains in connection with the unsolved homicide of his wife, has once again successfully argued for a delay in the case. It was an emotional day for supporters of Trina Hunt, who came to court for this morning's appearance. Shannon Patterson has more.
After months of delays, friends, family, and supporters of Trina Hunt came to Port Coquitlam Court this morning, hoping the case against her husband, Ian Hunt, would take a step forward. But they left disappointed. Trina Hunt's family members were visibly distraught when they left court after a judge granted a request from Ian Hunt's lawyer to adjourn the case again until January 19th.
We've come several times and nothing has happened. I think my frustration level is nothing compared to what it must be for the family.
In January 2021, Ian Hunt reported his wife missing, triggering an extensive search of their Port Moody neighborhood. Trina Hunt's body was found near Hope 2 months later. In June 2022, a man neighbors identified as Ian Hunt was arrested outside the couple's home and later released. This past February, he was charged with 1 count of indignity to human remains, which carries a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison. Are you still hopeful there may be additional charges laid here?
Yes, absolutely. Very hopeful.
Ian Hunt was not required to appear in court in person Friday morning and chose to listen to proceedings via video link. Were you hoping or expecting to see Mr. Hunt actually appear in court?
Yeah, which might be kind of goofy of me to think that, but yes, I was hoping for that. And I was hoping that he would be there to see all the people supporting her family.
More than a dozen of Trina Hunt's friends, family, and supporters sat in the courtroom, all wearing purple ribbons or scarves. Tell me about the purple. It meant something to Trina, right?
Trina loved purple. My understanding, it was her favorite color.
Supporters say they will be back here on December 19th for the next appearance in the case against Ian Hunt, whether he appears or not. Shannon Patterson, CTV News, Port Coquitlam.
Turning now to an unusual incident involving vulnerable babies. Police are looking for help identifying a woman who broke into the NICU at Surrey Memorial Hospital and made skin-to-skin contact with babies. Police say the suspect gained entry to the neonatal intensive care unit just before 7 a.m. on October 28th. She then removed her shirt and made contact with 3 infants. No babies were injured, and hospital security removed her from the property. Anyone who recognizes the woman is asked to contact Surrey Police. First responders in a Vancouver Island community are in the throes of a crisis. Island Health says illicit drug overdoses in the Cowichan Valley are surging. In one case, 80 in a single day. CTV's Andy Garland has more on what's being done to save lives.
Sean Merrick carries naloxone when he's on the streets of North Cowichan.
It happens every day down here. Every day, 2, 3, 4 times a day.
And he uses it frequently on people who have overdosed, including people he knows.
A good friend the other night, I didn't even know it was him until I rolled him over. I'm like, oh my God, it's my friend.
Just last week, Cowichan Valley's Canadian Mental Health Association says there were 46 overdoses in 6 hours, and they figure upwards of 80 happened within that 24-hour period.
We certainly handed out a ton of naloxone in that evening, and in the coming days, the rates have stayed quite high.
The association says they're still seeing around 5 overdoses a day, which has prompted Island Health to extend their overdose advisory for the Cowichan Valley.
We're particularly concerned about the toxic drugs that are circulating in the Cowichan Valley.
Island Health tested a sample of the poisonous batch circulating the valley and found it was laced with medetomidine, a sedative that does not respond to naloxone.
While the naloxone will bring breathing back on board, really, really important to do rescue breathing and naloxone to, keep somebody alive, they may not necessarily wake up right away.
North Cowichan's mayor says the crisis unfortunately highlights the need for more provincially funded treatment and recovery beds.
We have also taken a position as a municipality that we want to see the existing Cowichan District Hospital eventually repurposed into a facility for people with complex mental health and addictions needs.
The Mental Health Association adds that more housing is also needed to get people off the streets first in order to make the treatment recovery process work.
You need to have housing for people to come back to. So housing is absolutely key wraparound support to make any difference to help people.
Despite the spike in overdoses, BC Quarter says deaths have not climbed during the recent crisis.
This will probably be used before the sun falls.
Stats that speak to the brave work first responders and people like Sean are doing on the front lines. Andy Garland, CTV News, Cowichan Valley.
An update now on the search for 3 grizzly bears that were involved in an attack on an elementary school, the students and the teachers in Bella Coola. BC Conservation says 2 additional bears have been captured in the area. The bears are being assessed, and forensic evidence from last week's attack is being analyzed. 2 other bears were previously captured, but they haven't been linked to the attack, so they've been tagged and relocated. A grizzly sow and her 2 cubs are believed to have attacked the school group. Meantime, on the island, conservation officers in Campbell River are dealing with a disruptive black bear frequenting the Elk Falls Provincial Campground. While there have been no reports of the bear making contact with humans, it did damage to an unoccupied tent and forced the evacuation of the campsite. The site remains closed while officials attempt to capture the bear. Let's go live outside now. Here's our camera from Grouse Mountain looking at a beautiful, sparkly downtown Vancouver, and there are no clouds in the sky. Beautiful day today.
Yes, it was fabulous. A great way to finish off the work week for this Friday. Yeah, clear skies, sunshine. Right now, we're seeing a few clouds roll in, and temperatures across the lower mainland look like this. 7 degrees at the harbor, 6 in Burnaby. You're looking at 4 degrees in Pitt Meadows right now, 8 in Surrey and in Abbotsford. So as we head through the overnight into tomorrow, we'll start off with some showers. It does dry up through the afternoon with some sunny breaks. On Sunday, it'll be dry, mostly cloudy skies, sunny breaks through the afternoon, and 7 degrees for Saturday and Sunday.
CTV weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Explore the endless possibilities at one of our 36 BC locations. Learn more at expediacruises.ca.
And we've got a few dry days before the rain returns on the second half of next week. I've got those details coming up.
Well, dry days in November, always something to be thankful for.
Yes, take them as they come.
All right, thanks, Anne. The City of Vancouver is trying to appeal to more restaurants to bring their business outside with updates to the city's patio program.
But we also heard something loud and clear from the people who actually build and run these patios. The current system is incredibly complicated, costly, and confusing.
The city is eliminating engineered drawings for simple patio designs, expanding the program so more businesses can participate. This includes a new basic low-cost design template and offering more flexible options for weather protection. The program will also include new accessibility requirements for curbside patios, including accessible seating options. The Pacific Coliseum is looking for a new name. The PNE announced today it's looking for a naming rights partner for the historic venue, as well as the PNE Agrodome. Currently home of the Vancouver Golden Eyes, the Coliseum has also been a live music venue for decades, hosting everyone from Led Zeppelin to Bob Marley. The PNE has already partnered with Freedom Mobile to name the new amphitheater, which is scheduled to open before the FIFA World Cup in June. Canada has avoided a recession. What's fueling an unexpected growth in the economy? Also ahead.
Got some shoes, some socks, and 2 bags. Very good deals, to be honest.
Plenty of a Black Friday congestion today. Why some businesses that don't normally hold sales are doing so this year. When CTV News at 6 continues. Stay with us. Ice skating is back at the Robson Square rink, and elementary school students were among the first to give it a spin today. The holiday favorite attracts around 100,000 skaters every year. The ice will be open to the public every day, including Christmas Day, until the end of February. It's one of the busiest buying days of the year as throngs of shoppers search out Black Friday deals in the kickoff to the holiday season. But small businesses have been facing some challenges. And with a recent push to support Canadian brands, are local retailers seeing a difference? CTV's Dimitra Maragos hit the shops to find out.
For shoppers, it was worth the trek and the wait in traffic to get to the MacArthur Glen outlet in Richmond to save on Black Friday.
Got some shoes, some socks, and 2 bags. Very good deals, to be honest.
With big box stores, parking lots full, and lineups out the door, how are local stores faring?
I think we're going to be okay this year, for sure.
At Make, they don't typically hold Black Friday sales, but this year,
we heard a lot of rumblings that it was going to be a big year for Canadians to shop locally.
They gave it a try, with discounts on some of their local brands.
The general consensus is shop Canadian, so it just made sense to focus on Canadian.
The Granville Island retailer may be in the minority. Recent data from Stats Canada shows only 13% of businesses reported an uptick in sales of Canadian products. Nearly 70% haven't seen an increase in consumers buying domestic.
Things are expensive right now, and small businesses understand how tough that is on families.
The Canadian Federation of Independent Business says shopping local benefits everyone in the long run.
This Black Friday, we're encouraging people to shop local, go to your local store, and keep your dollar within the local economy.
Back at Make, with so many local shops and artisans thriving on Granville Island, they're not worried about this holiday season.
People are going to be shopping local anyway, and Granville Island is the perfect place to do that.
Dimitra Maragos, CTV News, Vancouver.
Crowds of people gathered outside of St. Paul's Hospital as it was lit aglow with thousands of Christmas lights last night. Lights of Hope marks the start of a fundraising campaign to enhance care for thousands of patients and long-term care residents in BC. The display represents the culmination of a 6-week construction effort led by more than 100 volunteers. Former patients were among the crowd and shared stories about how the hospital supported them.
The nurses at the cardiac intensive care unit here at St. Paul's Hospital were so amazing. Like when Dr. Bashir came in to tell me that I was going to need heart surgery and all the different options and stuff, there was a nurse that talked me through every detail and made me feel so comfortable by the time I went in for my surgery.
Lights of Hope aims to raise $3.7 million this year for St. Paul's Foundation. The lights will stay up until January the 2nd. Today, the province honored a group of British Columbians for their exemplary service to their local communities.
These are awards that are given to people with their volunteerism, the passion in the community, things that they do outside of work, extracurricular. And so we want to recognize citizens who are contributing above and beyond what they are doing in their community and in their workplace.
The Medal of Good Citizenship was handed out to 8 residents from the Lower Mainland today. The medal celebrates individuals who act in generous, kind, or selfless ways to help their communities. Since its creation in 2015, the province has awarded 196 medals of good citizenship. More trouble for an Ontario lawyer charged in connection with Ryan Wedding. BC Olympic snowboarder turned fugitive. Also ahead.
I'm okay.
Police in Hong Kong are wasting no time in arresting people in connection with the deadly fire that has claimed more than 100 lives. What else we're learning about the rapid spread of flames? That's ahead. The Canadian economy has blown past expectations, avoiding a technical recession by experiencing surprising growth in the third quarter, despite the onslaught of U.S. tariffs. But a deeper look into the data shows the economic growth, and the situation isn't exactly rosy. CTV's Abigail Beeman takes a closer look.
Hi, Ontario people. That's what we need to do, is support each other.
Some economists say gross domestic product growth is proof months of Buy Canadian ads and measures are working even with an unresolved trade war.
We saw imports drop 2.2%, which is a huge decline in the amount of foreign goods that we're consuming here in Canada. And that's really what helped to propel the economy forward, along with some increasing government spending.
Canada's real gross domestic product rose 2.6% on an annualized basis in the third quarter of 2025. Imports dropped 2.2% and exports climbed 0.2%.
This puts aside kind of the recession talks or certainly the worries that we had about 2 negative quarters, but it doesn't really kind of take away the kind of, how should I say, concern that we have around the economy still.
Statistics Canada says business investment was flat and household spending dropped slightly. The Prime Minister picks a positive spin and takes credit, posting the growth beats expectations and we're getting results.
At the surface, the data looks good. It's positive. But scratching beneath the surface, what you see is that there's some prudence. Consumers are prudent. You see that in the way they've increased their savings.
This economic snapshot comes ahead of the Bank of Canada's last interest rate decision of the year on December 10th. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
The Law Society of Ontario is taking action against a Brampton lawyer accused of being connected to a global drug trafficking network allegedly run by former Canadian Olympian Ryan Wedding. Deepak Paradkar was arrested last week and already faces numerous charges in the U.S., including that he advised Wedding the case against him would be dismissed if he murdered a key witness. The Law Society says it's seeking an order to have Paradkar's license suspended or restricted, citing the serious criminal allegations he's facing. The suspect in the shooting of 2 U.S. National Guard members is now facing murder charges in the wake of an attack that has led the U.S. president to announce an immigration freeze. 29-year-old Ramanala Lakanwal faces first-degree murder charges for allegedly shooting the National Guard members near the White House, leaving one dead and the other in critical condition. The suspect is from Afghanistan and worked with the CIA during the war. Lakanwal was living in Bellingham with his family and has been in the U.S. since 2021 as part of a program that resettled Afghans who helped American troops. At least 56 people have been killed and more than 20 are missing after heavy rains triggered landslides and devastating floods in Sri Lanka. The footage shows the raging waters which have washed away houses and ripped through towns. Most train services have been canceled and government offices and schools were closed. Southeast Asia has been battered by heavy rains and floods in recent days, with hundreds of deaths reported across Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand.
I'm okay. Okay,
The death toll in Hong Kong has risen to 128 people after a devastating fire tore through multiple high-rise apartment buildings. An additional 79 people were injured and 200 remain missing. The complex was undergoing renovations at the time of the fire. The 32-story towers were wrapped in bamboo scaffolding and green mesh, which fueled the rapid spread, along with styrofoam placed outside the windows. Today, anti-corruption authorities arrested 8 people in connection with that project. 3 people overseeing the work have already been arrested for manslaughter. Police have arrested a 4th person suspected of stealing France's crown jewels from the Louvre Museum. Also ahead.
Doing all my jumps and elements just make me feel so happy.
The best young skaters in the country are competing this weekend. We talk with a 13-year-old Calgary phenom who is the defending champion. That's ahead. Have a news tip, video, or photos of breaking news from your screen to ours when you see it happen? Send it to CTV News. Email us at vantips@ctv.ca or text 10400. The 4th alleged member of last month's jewel heist at the Louvre was charged today in France. Paris prosecutors say that all 4 suspects believed to have carried out the brazen robbery have now been arrested and charged. The jewels are valued at around $102 million US and have not been recovered. Getting a first-hand look at Mona Lisa's smile is about to cost a lot more money. The Louvre Museum has announced a 45% price hike on entrance tickets for non-Europeans. Starting in mid-January, 1 ticket will cost the equivalent of $52 Canadian. Officials say the move will bring in about $20 million a year, which will be used for upgrades and improvements. The Skate Canada Challenge is getting underway in Calgary, featuring some of the best young figure skaters across the country. And as CTV's Glenn Campbell reports, one young skater competing in her home city continues to tear it up on the ice.
It's not hard to spot Leah Cho when she's at the rink. She's usually the smallest competitor. Despite her lack of size, the 13-year-old is soaring to new heights every time she hits the ice.
My favorite thing is like feeling the fresh air when I skate, and when I jump, it makes me feel like a bird.
Cho started figure skating when she was just 5 years old and has gotten better every year. She's the defending Canadian junior women's figure skating champ. Last year in Laval, Quebec, she won the title with a record-breaking score of 188.79 points.
I honestly think the reason why I'm good at skating is because when I skate, I always feel very happy about myself, and it just makes, when I skate, it just makes me happy seeing all my friends, coaches, and doing all my jumps and elements just make me feel so happy when I skate.
This week, Cho was skating in Calgary at the Skate Canada Challenge, where she was once again the runaway winner. And that means she qualifies for the Nationals again. Cho skates out of the Glencoe Club, and her coach, Scott Davis, says she puts the work in.
Leah is very dedicated and works really hard. One of the hardest workers I've ever seen, and really diligent, and one of the most consistent skaters at such a young age, which is pretty impressive.
Cho's short-term goals are to compete internationally and skate in junior Grand Prix. Beyond that, she wants the Olympics.
Honestly, I think going to the Olympics will be a total big dream for me. I watched Yuna Kim compete at the 2014 Olympics, and I honestly really wanted to compete in the Olympics when I saw that, and I was like, that's my goal, just to compete for Canada at the Olympics.
And and she's pretty incredible. I have no doubt she will one day be at the Olympics.
Yeah, remember her name. Leah Cho's going to make it in there.
She makes it look so easy, and she's so happy doing it. There's no anxiety
she's
at
so
all.
Tiny and light. That's why she's flying so high. But yeah, she's an amazing skater. All right, let's take a look at our forecast. A fabulous Friday today. Hope you're able to get outside and enjoy the sunshine and get some shopping done as well. Believe it or not, November 28th, the hot spot across the country today was White Rock at 13.1 degrees. The record set back in 1932 at 15 degrees. So today we saw a high of 10.1, 3 degrees above the seasonal average of 7.7. It was cold overnight with the clear skies, a low of 1.6, and with only 2 days left in November, I don't think we're going to reach the monthly rainfall average of 171.2 millimeters. So far, we've seen 101.5. So as we head through the overnight into tomorrow, we do have a weak trough that's going to pass through the south coast, and that's going to bring us a few sprinkles. So here's how everything will play out. Cloudy skies through the overnight into tomorrow morning, late in the morning, into the afternoon. A few showers here and there, but for the most part, overcast skies clearing up as we head into tomorrow evening. You'll see a mix of sun and cloud for the central interior, your provincial forecast at the bottom of your screen. Early morning rain for Port Hardy, Campbell River, and Comox, clearing up through the afternoon. Temperatures between 6 and 7 degrees for the South Island. You'll see overcast skies from Tofino right down to Victoria with temperatures between 5 and 10. Cloudy with showers for the Sunshine Coast. Same story up the Sea to Sky Highway. Squamish at 6. Whistler, early morning flurries drying up through the afternoon with some sunny breaks and a high of 1. And frost across the lower mainland. For the most part, cloudy skies, 7 degrees across the lower mainland. Slight chance of early morning showers, especially along the water, but it does dry up quite nicely. Mostly cloudy skies on Sunday. A few showers on Monday with a high of 8 degrees. Clears up nicely on Tuesday, and then it clouds over on Wednesday. Enjoy those dry days because the rain returns on Thursday. Continuing into Friday, it'll be a soggy one with a high of 9. CTV weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations. So not a bad weekend ahead to get your shopping done, lights done, trees.
Of course, everything. You don't have to worry about any of that because Anne is finished all her Christmas
I'll be sitting on the couch just sipping tea, watching movies.
Must feel good.
It does.
I'm almost there, Anne. I do aspire to be like you, but I'm not quite as organized.
I believe in you, Mi-Jung.
I'll get there. All right, thanks, Anne.
Welcome.
Turbulence for airlines, why a type of Airbus is being recalled and what that could mean for travelers. Also ahead, whether you walk on or take your car, a ferry trip to the island will cost you more. We'll tell you how much fares are going up. That's ahead. Today's markets, the Canadian dollar traded for 71 cents to the American dollar. Oil was down 10 cents on the day, closing at $58.55 a barrel. Gold gained more than $52 on the day. The TSX and the Dow Jones both ended higher, up 186 points and 289 points. A bit of turbulence hitting the aviation industry. Airbus is warning there may be flight disruptions involving some of its planes as a result of software updates on thousands of its aircraft. The move reportedly has to be carried out on planes before their next routine flight. American Airlines says more than 300 of its jets are affected, but adds the software replacement will be mostly completed by tomorrow. Airbus says intense solar radiation may corrupt data critical to the functioning of flight controls. This comes after a JetBlue flight made an emergency landing in Florida in October, triggering an investigation. Now that Black Friday has arrived, the official holiday shopping season has begun. And there's plenty of time to find deals, especially online. If you plan to do some shopping tonight or throughout the weekend until Cyber Monday, we have some advice to help you find a bargain. Here's CTV's Pat Foran with more.
Despite rising prices, tariff concerns, and inflation, many consumers still plan to spend big bucks this holiday season. While sales are in full swing, you still want to make sure a deal really is a deal.
If you want to know if something is truly a good deal, check out the product's price history with tools like Camel, 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 Honey, and Keepa.
Prices can change from day to day and even throughout the day, so knowing something's price history can give you an edge. That's true for larger purchases, such as electronics, Black Friday usually has great tech deals, and it's the best time to buy a TV.
Prices may go up after Cyber Monday, so be ready. Know what you want and how much you're willing to spend.
Other items are also Black Friday staples.
So nearly everything is on sale. You've got small appliances like coffee makers and air fryers, even vacuums and mattresses.
Be careful on sites like Amazon, Walmart, and Temu, as you could be buying from third-party sellers rather than the retailer itself. That can make it harder to return items, and products sold by third-party sellers could be fake and even dangerous.
Some third-party sellers may be unreachable or unaccountable for the harms caused by their products. And in many cases, the online platform can claim it's just the middleman.
It's recommended you stick with sellers you trust. If the seller is the marketplace, that's generally safer, and choose well-known and reputable brands. Some products need the highest level of scrutiny, things like toys, anything with lithium-ion batteries, or small enough for a child to swallow. Keep in mind badges like Amazon's Choice or Etsy's Pick might catch your eye, but it's not always clear how those products are selected. A little caution online can save you money and help keep your family safe this holiday season. Pat Foran, CTV News.
There's good news and bad news from BC Ferries today, and the bad news is going to cost you. Starting next year, fares to walk on, drive on, and reserve a spot will go up on major routes. The fare for a standard vehicle and driver will climb from $95 to $110. The increase is for drive-up, terminal payments, and prepaid. Walk-on fares are also climbing. Adults will now pay $21. The good news, BC Ferries says it will increase the number of fare saver spaces on select sailings to 30% of all bookable spots. Changes take effect on April the 8th. Holiday events are ramping up across Metro Vancouver. We'll tell you about some of the highlights in this week's Friday Feelgoods coming up. Plus, Garage Band. Adam finds out how a classic rock singer became a typewriter mechanic. Coming up on the Sawatsky Sign-Off. Right now, here's a preview of your morning, Vancouver.
Are you feeling anxious about the holiday season? Monday on Your Morning Vancouver, as people start figuring out their budget, stress may be setting in. We're catching up with a mental health expert. Plus, a BC designer making waves on Project Runway Canada. We'll chat fashion, pressure, and what really happens off the runway. We'll see you in the morning.
The Vancouver Canucks were in deep water earlier today on the road in San Jose for a Black Friday matinee.
Here's Celebrini, moves to the middle, dishes to the side, they score. Eklund.
The Sharks took a bite out of the Canucks penalty kill, scoring twice with the extra man to hand the Canucks the 3-2 defeat. Vancouver has now lost 7 of its last 9 games. The Canucks' 4-game road trip continues tomorrow night in Los Angeles. It is the biggest match of the season so far for the Vancouver Whitecaps. Tomorrow, the boys will be in San Diego to play the Western Conference Final and a chance to advance to the Major League Soccer Championship. Whitecap CEO Axel Schuster stopped by Your Morning Vancouver to talk about it. He says the boys are ready.
Everyone wants to go and everyone is good to go. No one at the end of the season is at 100%, but that's also true for the San Diego players. We watched the game on Monday and also their players are not all any longer at 100%. This is 52, game 52 for us. So, but everyone is ready and will be full energetic.
The Whitecaps will be without MLS Defender of the Year Tristan Blackman. He will miss the match due to the red card he received against LAFC. Kickoff tomorrow is at 6 p.m. in San Diego. Let's take a live look now at the Vancouver Art Gallery Plaza, where one of BC's tallest Christmas trees has just been lit. Hundreds are gathered to watch the 23-meter or 76-foot tree. I think most people think in feet. It's all lit up now, marking the city's official start to the holiday season. I've been watching it being assembled. weekend, it's actually much more impressive in person, don't you think?
Yes, it's beautiful.
Large.
Gorgeous, yeah.
76 feet, you said?
Yeah.
76
Wow.
feet.
Not too bad.
Yeah, if you're downtown, take a swing by. It looks very good. Okay, well, it's time for Friday Feelgoods, a weekly roundup of unique events happening in Metro Vancouver. Here are 3 things worth checking out.
Bright Nights has moved from Stanley Park to Cloverdale Fairgrounds this year to team up with Noel Surrey. Firefighters from across BC have been volunteering their free time to help set up millions of twinkling lights. The event kicks off this weekend, and it's all in support of the BC Burn Fund. And I'll be there December 3rd, so join me.
But no train.
No
right?
train.
Okay. Okay, well, get your holiday shopping done this weekend, all while supporting local artists. The Gotcraft Holiday Market returns to the Croatian Cultural Center on Commercial Drive and will feature 100 makers and small shops. There will be a mini makers area with kid entrepreneurs, along with free DIY zine making and food trucks.
All right, and Metro Vancouver's largest free outdoor winter lights display returns in Coquitlam. Lights at Lafarge is back for another year, featuring a 1.6-kilometer winter wonderland filled with sparkling light displays around Lafarge Lake. Lights are on from 4 until 11 and will run until February 16th.
Oh, right through Valentine's.
Yeah,
I
beautiful.
Like it.
So many places to go to and so little time.
Yeah.
We still have to do a bit of shopping, unlike Anne.
Exactly.
Right? Okay, if you have any events you'd like us to highlight, email your tips to ctvfeelgoods@ctv.ca. Okay, a Gingerbread Labubu, Titanic, and even the Louvre heist are among the entries in this year's Christmas Gingerbread House competition at a museum in Sweden. Stockholm's Museum of Architecture and Design unveiled this year's entries with the theme Love of Design and Architecture, showcasing 151 edible creations. The annual exhibition has been a tradition at the museum for 35 years, bringing together participants of all ages and skill levels. That is incredible. It makes me want to go to Sweden at Christmas time and see that.
And eat.
Yeah, well, they might not appreciate the eating prematurely. Maybe go in February for that. Okay, we'll get to the Sawatsky sign-off in a moment. First, Craig, what's coming up tonight?
Well, Mijung, we just saw the tree at the art gallery. We'll have full reaction from that area tonight, and it looks quite beautiful. But we're also tracking another story that includes a bus crash in the Caribou tonight earlier today that sent seven people to hospital. We will have the latest on this at 11:30. And Mounties in Maple Ridge are asking the public for help to identify a suspect who allegedly assaulted a taxi driver and attempted to break the windshield before taking off. This and more coming up later tonight.
Pretty scary situation there. Okay, thank you, Craig. Well, it is a type of technology that isn't distracting and definitely doesn't let you scroll. Adam finds out why a Port Moody man who has spent decades performing on stage started filling his garage full of typewriters on tonight's Encore Sawatsky sign-off.
It's my happy place.
The story behind this garage filled with typewriters begins at the back of it.
This is the very first machine.
One of 2 typewriters that Brendan bought on a whim at a yard sale.
And I thought, wow, those are kind of neat and old, and I bet I could get them working.
He painted the first one the same color as his car at the time, after figuring out how to fix it on his own.
The analog of it, for me, is what I really like.
But before he could solve the mechanical puzzle of the second typewriter, Brendan began touring the world as the lead singer of the AC/DC tribute band, BC/DC.
And it's great. It keeps going.
Except when the pandemic stopped it, and Brendan started tinkering with that second typewriter 27 years after the first one.
I just love the mechanics of it. And now I got about, 160.
Brendan has refurbished every one, accompanied by a soundtrack of not classic rock, but songs from whatever year the typewriter was built. His collection ranges from machines made during the war to fold compact during combat.
The guys would be in the trenches typing out
to this more comical take on contemporary communication.
Tweets took a lot longer to get to where they were going, and then you'd have to wait for the reply in the mail.
And while his favorite typewriter is this Torpedo 18B,
types like a hot knife through butter.
Brendan rarely types anything on any of them.
It's like I'm a car mechanic who doesn't drive.
Instead, Brendan lends dozens of his typewriters to high school libraries so young people can get acquainted with the antiquated.
Brings you back to technology that isn't distracting.
Instead, these machines, designed to be fixed rather than disposed of, invite you to focus and compose something wonderful with words.
They're all full of stories. They're full of whatever's in your head.
Which is why Brendan says every one of them is worth saving.
There's a finite amount of them, so I want to try and keep them alive.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Port Moody.
I love the feel and sound of a typewriter. Have you ever used one, Craig?
I haven't, no.
Oh my gosh.
All right, let's take a look at our scenic snapshot. A spectacular day in Squamish at the Squamish Feather Park. Thanks, Deanna, for sending this one in, and we want to see your scenic snapshot as well. So email us at scenicsnapshot@ctv.ca.
Beautiful shot, great sunshine. Thanks for joining us. Craig's back at 11:30.